things that aren't around any longer. We're moving towards an area of a lot of jobs that used to be there just aren't there anymore, and we're kind of at this point like, what in the world are we going to do? I'm just going to throw a quick stat out there. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the unemployment rate number because that's complete garbage, but I do pay attention to the labor participation rate, and right now it's at 62.7%. So how you calculate the labor force participation rate is you divide the number of people actively participating in the labor force by the total number of people eligible to participate in the labor force. This is taking out all people on disability, all people that aren't of age that should be working. So by this number, 37.3% of people that are the age and able to work are not working. 37.3%. So we already have a huge amount of people doing God knows what, but they're not in the labor force, and that's just going to continue. I'm sure you guys can both think of a lot of jobs that we don't have anymore.
Thug life.
Well, the mafia, that's just the Bloods and Crips now. The Republicans and Democrats. That's the. Ryan, what do you remember growing up? Or jobs that we don't have around anymore.
Haberdasher, lamplighter, dog catcher.
That's true. I haven't seen a dog catcher in a while.
No, now they're called animal control.
Okay.
Goodness, what is
Ice cutting.
Yeah.
When they used to have ice boxes.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And then ice man delivery, which goes also to milkman.
Yeah.
Milkman's pretty much disappeared.
Yeah.
I remember a lot more beverages came in glass bottles. Like everything came in a glass bottle, and then like in the early to mid-90s, everything started switching to plastic.
I wish they would go back to the glass.
I do too.
Screw plastic.
Yeah, and it was recyclable because you just take
Yeah.
the bottles back and you get money for it. And that's how kids got actually some, money for candy and stuff.
Well, that and it tasted better. It retained
Oh, yeah.
the temperature better.
Yeah.
And there's been no long-term study of the side effects or effects of plastic on the human body done whatsoever.
I think we're going to start seeing it. I think we're going to
And
start seeing some
Why
side
don't you
effects.
see beer in a plastic bottle?
You do on some, but it's
I
like
have
for
at
like
stadiums.
yeah, because they don't want anybody getting rowdy and drunk and then being
They throw in their bottle.
it'll just go tank and then fall down.
Oh, okay. What does that say about?
If you pay $12 for a bottle of beer, though, should you have the right to hit some rowdy guy upside the head? I don't know. That's a lot of money.
Well, you're just putting weapons in the hands of drunk people in a volatile, competitive scenario, right?
So then we can film it again as a separate sporting event and pay it and sell it on pay-per-view.
Let's just put everybody in their arena.
We're creating jobs. Make America great again. Come on.
I do know that in bullfights down in Manzanillo, they don't serve beverages in like cans or containers. They give you a plastic baggie and a straw.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Because they'll get so rambunctious and uppity, it'll be like, okay, well, you can tear a can in half, and all of a sudden you got a little shut.
Yeah, you got a shit.
You're a ghetto Wolverine, basically,
Yeah.
Okay, so this is why beer comes in glass bottles, essentially, right? Because it tastes better.
Tastes better. It holds longer, I think.
Yeah.
And also, I think ferments partially in the bottle too when they're storing it. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a brewmaster.
I don't know, but I know one thing. A lot of people, if you're allergic to beer and you always get a headache afterwards, if you drink canned beer is actually processed with ether. So if you're allergic to ether and you don't know it, you always get a headache when you drink canned beer. That's why, because it's canned with ether.
Very helpful fact.
Yeah, I try not to drink canned beer anymore, and I think I have less headaches.
Okay, so switchboard operators.
That's one.
That's another job that just went away.
The traffic cop that would stop, go,
Yeah.
stop. You'll find them rarely, like when
There's a
car outage.
construction site, yeah.
But other than that, it's no.
Yeah,
that's gone.
It's gone. Town crier.
Well, that's become social media.
That's true. It's true. Yeah. Let's see. There's a thing called knocker-ups, which was basically a human would come to your door and wake you up to go to work. Because apparently maybe there wasn't alarm clocks back in the day.
Well, it was like for those factory row house towns where everybody, you lived in the community, you worked at the factory, and there'd just be a guy going down the whole thing going, get up Thompson, get up McGillicuddy, get up Stewitts,
I think I got that mixed up. They told me that I was supposed to be a knocker up, and I got to like 6 women and I got fired.
Well, then he comes back down the block when, the husbands are all gone, and then he fills the other half of his duties, so.
See,
That's why all the kids up and down the road look just like the knocker-up guy.
which is why they had to get rid of it.
Well, he was gotten rid of, they just found him underneath a bridge somewhere.
Okay, here's one that's major, longshoremen.
Those still exist.
They do, but not to the degree that they used to,
Well,
because
not
of
near-
containers.
Not the
shipping
amount, that's
containers.
true, but
It used to be a lot of guys, you had to be employed on the docks, you had to separate the stuff when it came out of the ship, stuff like that, warehouse it. But containerization after World War II pretty much got rid of the longshoremen.
well, yeah, I got rid of the big cargo nets, like pulling like giant, 50 different boxes out. I mean, but it's still thriving. The maritime industry is thriving.
Oh, it's
very
thriving, yeah.
healthy, right?
Yeah.
I've got family in the maritime industry. I've been in the maritime industry. I have a TWIC card.
Yeah, but that particular job,
It's true.
which was.
Like the old grizzly dude with like the Popeye arms and like
There you go,
yeah,
yeah.
the tattoos of all nautical stuff and missing teeth and yeah, that guy still exists. He's the old guy at the end of the bar who's going like, you all have it too easy now.
Yeah.
I was submarines twice, in Okinawa, and I was on the Tinian explosion ship, and
And maybe we do have it too easy, but
We've certainly gotten, if you compare life 100 years ago to now,
Oh, it's totally different,
it's way harder for sure.
I would be like in middle age and or like last golden years. You two gentlemen would probably be fallen due to some cold or gout.
yeah. Be sitting in a warm place,
Something
by the fire
something that
somewhere.
Tylenol could have cured could have killed all three of us 100 years ago.
Yeah, there would have been, the doctors, the healthcare industry is one of the reasons for a lot of longevity now.
True.
And,
Oh, definitely.
people living much longer than how they used to.
That's why there's after every war, there's been all these advancements in technology because we beat a country. Then we're like, okay, what did you do? Oh, we learned a bunch of stuff. Oh, you did horrible things to learn it. We're still gonna use it anyway. So that's why during like the Korean and Vietnam War, there was more survivors than say in the World War II, World War I. But they were crippled. They were dudes without legs that would have led to death. That's 20 years ago. Dudes with missing half their face, they're alive because they figured out, oh, plasma, we can separate blood, and we can give you this until we can get you to here.
And you got a lot of people from the Vietnam War that, obviously have a lot of ill effects, brain trauma, all kinds of different
Agent
things.
Orange.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot more going on chemically, I think, there during Vietnam and World War II.
Yep. We all the defoliants, and I'm a descendant of an Agent Orange person, so actually I have some health things I have to worry about down the line. And actually, we'll be covered by the VA if they do spring up.
Really? So this goes like generation to generation?
It affects the genes, yeah.
Wow,
Wowzers.
that's incredible. You guys inventing this crap, you're bastards.
Unless you get it on our guys. If you get it on the other guys, that's fine.
Okay, so here's the next job, bowling pin setters. That's a job where technology comes in and then you're done.
That's true.
That guy's probably living a more meaningful life if he. I'm really thinking about suicide if my job is to just set pins up for some other guy to knock down.
It'd be an easy job though. Like
That is true.
Very little responsibility. You could just be back there, kicking back, having a cold, and then just like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Push,
you
push,
could
push,
drink
push,
beer.
push.
You'll probably be a little high, and you
And
just
then
got to be
you're
able to
ready to
go.
go.
Yeah,
Okay,
that is true.
phrenology. Phrenology is where you would go to somebody and then they would look at your head and feel the bumps and give you a diagnosis on what the heck's wrong with you, right?
Yeah.
Like an acupuncturist.
No, it's no needles involved. What it is this is where the term, you gotta go get your head examined, comes from. Because they would just basically just check out, the shape and the form of your head and somehow read it, like you're reading your palm or something like that and tell your future, right, That's
that was a great gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
We should bring that back.
Oh, and then the old medicine shows where people show up, I guess what we have now is infomercials,
Mm-hmm.
okay, to replace that sort of thing. And remember the guy with
Rumble Peel.
He had the Vegematic, the pocket vision.
Hair in a can.
Yeah. Oh, and then there was, the guy with the cures they don't want you to know about, you know?
No, yeah.
Him, yeah, I guess he's in jail now.
Oh, yeah, the guy that wrote the natural remedies and stuff.
Natural cures they don't want you to know about.
Yeah, I found his book for a yard sale. I think it might have been in a free box. I paid a little attention
Well,
to
he
it,
had,
but
obviously had problems with the government, he may not be in jail, I don't know, but, he was definitely king of the infomercials for a while, when it comes to that stuff.
I'm really happy that we don't have to watch infomercials at 2 o'clock in the morning anymore, though. Especially when I became an adult and there wasn't many channels on. I would see something, you're tired, I'd get excited, I'm calling. I never got anything good from those infomercials. But I either bought or was really close to buying a lot of stupid things.
I don't know, I remember watching Tony Robbins, remember him? Yeah, and it was very motivational, he'd get you, you know, really excited, not quite sure what, but excited. You know.
Super motivated from a guy who never accomplished anything, except for writing some books.
Well, he probably, that's how he made his living.
Yeah,
so.
if anyone has a correction in there, go ahead and put it in the comments or put your ideas down there. Should really involve everyone.
His
Okay.
teeth are 1/3 of his body.
What a guy, what a fan.
Maybe that's why he's able to walk on the coals without getting burned.
That's quite possible.
So the next one, and this is a pet peeve of mine. This is a job that I think should still be going, but it's not. And it's called cartoon show hosts on television. Now, everybody who knows J.P. Patches, Gertrude, I mean, they've got a statue to these two cartoon show hosts.
Mhm.
You know, their influence, they were iconic, you know, of 60s, 70s, whatnot, and they were lovable, and they would show wholesome cartoons, but they would also sell, you know, sugary cereals and stuff like that. And essentially, that's what happened, was they were not allowed to do commercials promoting things, and then when that disappeared, that's where the money disappeared. Then eventually the cartoon show hosts disappeared, because stations just couldn't afford to keep paying, you know, a couple of guys to come out and just run the cartoon show when there was, you know, wasn't enough commercial value there.
Kind of like YouTube demonetizing all of our videos. And I haven't told these guys, for some reason, our last video's been demonetized.
Huh.
I don't think there was a lot of views on it, and that's good for the subscribers, or a lot of money. There wasn't a lot of money generated yet, but for some reason YouTube decided to demonetize us. I've challenged it, and it is now in limbo. So
We shall see.
so that's why you need to send us checks, because YouTube's cutting off our funds. No.
And if we get more monies, we can get a better set and a little visual creature and guests that you might actually know about.
There we go. Okay, so there's an idea. Production guys, we need money for production guys. You know, the more you pay, the better the quality of the video. And in the meantime, we'll be, you know, giving you the meat and potatoes of infinitely interesting conversation. Oh, which, by the way, who's your favorite cartoon talk show host?
Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, that's right, Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, yeah.
And see, I was going to lend my theory towards your diminishing return of TV, children's cartoon show hosts is a twofold kind of thing. If when I'm yielded the floor, anyway.
What about yours, Mike?
I was gonna say Pee Wee Herman actually stole it, so I guess
That's still good.
Ramblin' Rod was pretty good. But yeah, Pee Wee Herman was a cool one. There wasn't a whole lot of them that I remember, but yeah, Pee Wee Herman's was definitely.
Because he did show old, like, 1920s,
definitely very
30s
entertaining.
cartoons.
What about Captain Kangaroo? Anybody remember him?
That's like 70s.
Yeah, I've only seen
was-
reruns.
Oh my gosh, he was iconic. He was national, you know. There was also Howdy Doody.
I don't care for a freckled puppet.
But there was
I don't trust him.
Clarabelle the Clown. See, I'm old enough, I remember a lot of this. So there was Bozo, I think out of Chicago, okay? Now, everybody knows Krusty the Clown from The Simpsons. Well, the inspiration for Krusty the Clown is Rusty Nails down in Portland. Now, I actually went to one of Rusty Nails' shows. He was sponsored by Alpenrose Dairy, and he's basically, Krusty is Rusty, okay? And he's a great guy. He's Portland's version of J.P. Patches, and is around forever. But Portland had a lot of cartoon shows. There was Dr. Zoom, who was the Mad Professor. There was Heck Harper, the singing cowboy. There was Mr. Duffy's Cartoon Circus. And then up here in Tacoma, there was Brakeman Bill. If anybody remembers Brakeman Bill. Plus we had Stan Morrison,
And also
No.
Captain Puget.
Captain Puget. Yeah.
Are you gonna elaborate a little more on something with Pee Wee Herman? I felt like we kinda cut you off there.
Well, it was just the TV show host being gone. I had a separate.
Well, Pee Wee was entertaining, but he was actually kind of a parody of the old cartoon show host.
Well, he was.
Because there was,
Well, the show was originally meant for adults, and
It
it got the attention of some network executive somewhere. It's like, hey, if you can, curve this a little bit, just take some of the edges off here, we can
Yeah.
make this a kids show and syndicate it, and we can give you money.
well, that's because the kids who grew up with cartoon show hosts were now older, and there was a market for it.
Yeah.
Easily market for it, but then of course he messed up.
I think he wanted out because there's many other ways to get it done, and that's just a super easy way. Like, you know what? I'm tired of playing a giant 10-year-old.
Yeah, and the after that scandal, his first reappearance was in, I think, the movie Mystery Men.
He had a couple small things, but he was a Mystery Man. He was in Blow as well.
Was he? No, that was a straight drama, right?
Yeah, Blow was the story of there was a real life Johnny Depp movie about the dude who smuggled all that coke. If you did
Yeah.
coke in the 70s and 80s, basically you got it from him in some way somehow.
Yeah.